Hi, my name is Ajiwa Oriami with The Nurturing Way. I'm a holistic nutritionist as well as an integrated health nutritionist. And today I want to talk to you about the coronavirus. In particular, I want to talk about 5 things that you can do to help to protect yourself and your body, um, to keep you healthy and prevent getting the coronavirus. So, before we begin, I just want to identify the populations first and foremost that are been affected by this coronavirus the most. And that's our elderly population, as well as people who have underlying health conditions, and in general, who have compromised immune system. So all of the 5 tips that I'm going to share with you today, they're going to focus on ways that we can boost the immune system or support the immune system in some way, fashion, form. So the first tip is nutrition, of course. Holistic nutrition, from my perspective, it means eating a variety of whole foods. And when I say whole foods, I mean foods that are in their natural form, that grows on the tree, grows on the ground, that have not been modified and changed into a packaged product that's sold without as many nutrients. So the idea is to incorporate more whole foods into your diet, and particularly starting out with eating more fruits and vegetables, at least 5 to 7 servings of your fruits and vegetables per day, and that's a minimum. So we want to shoot for more than that. Having eating whole grains, eating legumes, healthy sources of proteins, and then also healthy forms of fat. So that means more or less your unsaturated fats, and even in that case, using those in a way that are healthy for you. So in terms of minimize the amount of frying that you're using them for saute or adding to salad dressings and things of that nature. So let's back up and talk about the importance of whole foods. So with the whole foods, they are very nutrient dense generally, and they have lots of vitamins and minerals and antioxidants and just fiber and a lot of things that help our body to function at its full capacity. So when we talk about whole foods, and particularly when we talk about green leafy vegetables and fruits and other vegetables, we're looking at the amount of the things that they have in them that actually help to boost our immune system. So in particularly, we're looking at like vitamin C. Vitamin C is known to enhance the immune system, as well as zinc. You have your vitamin D, which is also, we know that the deficiency of vitamin D actually put you more at risk for infections and other types of illnesses. So you want to eat foods that are rich in those types of vitamins and minerals. And your green leafy vegetables are rich in vitamin C. They're rich in zinc. You also have your mushrooms, which are a source of vitamin D. You have your legumes, which are also a good source of vitamins and nutrients. So focusing in on those types of nutrients will help to support the overall health of your body. Now, I'm a big proponent of getting what you can in terms of your vitamins and minerals from your food primarily, but sometimes there may be times when you need to supplement. But for now, again, just focusing on the foods as the first tip. Other foods that and other vegetables, in particular your cruciferous vegetables, are also very good for helping to support your body. Your cruciferous vegetables, when I say that, I'm talking about your broccoli, your cabbage, your cauliflower, your bok choy. There are many others that are considered part of the cruciferous family. And then your heavy hitters like your garlic and your onions. Garlic in particular is known to have antiviral, antibacterial properties, and just properties in general that help to boost the immune system. Now let's talk about specifically what are some of those chemicals or a natural chemical in garlic that we're familiar with that actually helps to fight off those viruses. That particular chemical is called allicin. And the way that allicin, because it doesn't just exist within the garlic itself, it actually is created when you crush the garlic. Garlic releases this enzyme, and that enzyme combines with another chemical, and then it produces allicin. And it's important when you're using garlic, one thing that we don't always think about is important to you when you're using garlic to crush it or cut it and then let it sit for 10 minutes, because that way the allicin is then being released, and then you can have that when you consume the garlic in that form, it actually goes into the body. Now, ideally, it is good to eat it in the raw form because you get more of it. However, if you're going to cook it, wait that 10 minutes, because if you don't wait the 10 minutes and you cook the garlic, you're not getting any of that effect because the allicin hasn't yet been produced. The enzyme hasn't yet done what it needs to do, because the enzyme is stored in the cell of the broccoli. So if you don't crush the garlic, you're definitely not going to get the benefit. So it's important to crush the garlic, let it sit for 10 minutes, and then you can add it to, whatever, your sautés, or you can actually roast the garlic and you'll still get some of the benefit. Of course, not as much as if you would eat it in its natural state. And garlic also is a source of zinc as well. So again, ideally, we're looking at those particular foods that have the nutrients that will help to build up the immune system and help to fight off the coronavirus, any virus, as well as any other bacteria infection and things like that. Because what we're looking at is not this one particular incident, although that's the hot topic right now. We're talking about overall health when we're looking at the different types of foods that I just mentioned. Now, what else? Something else that is essential in terms of good nutrition is making sure that you have a variety of foods in your diet, and also it's about maintaining a good level of hydration. So hydration, when I talk about hydration, I'm talking about a good source of drinking water as an adult, a minimum of 64 ounces per day, and you may want to up it to more than that. But the importance of water is that it helps to flush out the chemicals and the not only the chemicals but toxins and unnecessary harmful substances in the body. So you want to keep yourself hydrated. Make sure that you're getting a good amount of water into your body each day. So those are some key components of having healthy, a good source of nutrition and a good source of hydration going on. So the second tip that we're going to focus on is we're talking about herbs, we're talking about essential oils and supplements. Now, as I mentioned, I'm a big proponent of getting what you need from your foods, but there are people who have health conditions that may not be consuming enough from the food, so they may need to supplement. And then there are people who are healthy but just aren't getting what they need from the foods because they're just not eating enough of it. So one of the supplements that I'd like to focus on in terms of dealing with strengthening the immune system to fight off the coronavirus would be looking at herbs like astragalus, which helps to strengthen the immune system. Thyme is another herb. Oregano, oil of oregano or oregano itself are very good herbs because it actually helps to fight off. It has antiviral, antibacterial properties, antimicrobial properties. So it's very good in that sense. The thyme, and when I'm talking about thyme, I'm just really talking about culinary thyme that we have in our kitchen that we use to cook our food with. Thyme is so powerful. My experience has been that it's really very helpful for the respiratory system. And we know that in terms of this particular strain of coronavirus, it actually attacks the respiratory system, and it makes it very difficult sometimes for people to breathe. So thyme actually helps to support the respiratory system, and you can actually simply take a teaspoon of thyme and actually boil it in a cup of water, start it at a boil and then simmer it down and then drink that, and do that like twice a day. But I'll actually have another video to show you how. It's very simple, but to show you how to do it. So those are some some powerful herbs that you can use to help to support your immune system. Olive leaf is another herb that is very good for the immune system as well. But there are many, but there are just a few that I wanted to mention. In terms of your supplements, if you're not getting enough zinc-rich foods like your vegetables and your nuts and your pumpkin seeds, then you can supplement with zinc. You can also supplement with vitamin C if you're not getting enough of it in your food. And you can supplement with vitamin D as well. So with the vitamin C, you know, a minimum of 1,000 milligrams per day if you're not dealing with any type of health issue and if you can tolerate it. And then with your vitamin D, you have to really understand, you know, where you are. If there's a level of deficiency, perhaps getting tested to see where you are, and then increase your vitamin D levels accordingly. Now, the ideal situation with the vitamin D is really to get it from the sun. So if you can get outside, now that spring is coming, at least where I am in the world, spring is about to begin. So it's an ideal time to get outside and get moving and get sunshine, get exposed to the sun, so that you can actually get the vitamin D from the sun. And as I mentioned, vitamin D can also be obtained from like mushrooms, but you can get it in the supplement form. So good nutrition, taking herbs, vitamins, and supplements, and then the essential oil component. So there are people, you know, now the hand sanitizers have been sold out in the store, basically in some places, because people, you know, we're really trying to protect themselves and be proactive. And so there are ways, though, using essential oils that you can actually make your own hand sanitizer, and they are powerful, just as powerful, if not more powerful, than some of the hand sanitizers that you buy in the store. And it's very easy to make, very inexpensive. Oils like tea tree oil have the antiviral, antibacterial, antimicrobial properties. Thyme is red thyme is another one. Cinnamon leaf oil. So you would get like a small, if you had like a 5 ml bottle, you would put maybe like 10 drops of the essential oil in there, and you can put a carrier oil in there with it also. And a carrier oil will be like a coconut oil, olive oil, jojoba oil, apricot oil, any type of oil. And you mix those up together, and then just put a few drops on your hands and rub it together, and that will provide you a lot of protection. But I will create another video to show you a specific essential oils that you can use, or you can create blends to help you with that. So we have the essential oils, we have the herbs, and we have the supplements. That's the second tip. The third tip that is very, very important is actually to reduce the amount of stress in your life. So we have stress, which we have the acute stress, and then we have the chronic stress. And what I'm going to talk about more or less is the chronic stress. Stress in general, when you're stressed, you release a hormone called cortisol. You may be familiar with this or not, but it's actually released in an acute state when you experience an incident and you get riled up, and then you calm back down and you go on about your business. Cortisol, in that particular situation, cortisol, the hormone cortisol, is released, and it actually has more of a protective function with your immune system in that particular case, because it becomes more of an anti-inflammatory, and then it helps to, you know, help the immune system to respond appropriately. Now, when you're in the chronic state, that's when you are constantly, you know, having these thoughts that are putting you into a state of fear, or you are dealing with situations in your life that's bringing about chronic stress. And chronic stress is like stress that's ongoing, and it just that you don't have that break. That's when the cortisol that is being produced in your body actually becomes detrimental, because then it starts to compromise your immune function. So we want to find a way to manage the chronic stress levels. And speaking of stress, some of the things that I want to focus on in terms of the coronavirus that also contributes to that particular event happening in terms of the chronic stress is that there's so much fear. We live in a fear-based culture, so much fear has been generated around this particular virus. And so people are constantly reacting to that. And as you're reacting to that, your body is in a state of stress. And so, in my opinion, it really saddens me because as humans, we are, so much manipulated by the media and society in the sense that we allow our fears to rule us. And then in that case, we can be easily taken advantage of. So now you can go to the store, you can't find hand sanitizer, or you go and you try to find it on the internet, and the price is just outrageous. Or even the mask that people are wearing now, some companies are, charging exorbitant amounts of money for the mask, or even to ship them to you, they're charging so much money. So we have to take our power back, and that's what this video is about, is really helping people to empower themselves, to give them the knowledge and information about how you can manage this situation, create a state of health, and maintain your state of health so that you don't have to worry about things on that level, and that you won't be allowed to just be manipulated in such a way that it creates so much fear. But back to the stress, again, it's managing your stress levels is very important. And so some of the ways that we can do that is, we can unplug from the news for a while and just kind of just take it easy, because as long as you're feeding into the news and listening to it all the time, that's going to potentially keep you in a state of stress. So first, unplugging from the news, periodically. If you have to watch it, that's fine, but just find some time that you just unplug from it. The other thing is, go and develop a meditation practice, even if it's meditating 5-10 minutes a day. That can actually help to lower your cortisol levels and help you to manage stress better. Deep abdominal breathing is very important, and you can do that like 2 to 3 minutes a day, first thing in the morning, and that actually helps to set your tone for the day in terms of how you manage things that come in your life, because we'll deal with stress situations no matter where we are in the world, but it's how you manage it and how long you allow that stress to stay in your body that becomes harmful over time. And then just getting out in nature, just being out and among the trees, in the sun, all of those things can help to reduce the amount of stress that we carry, and just actually creating a healthy routine for yourself around, a yoga practice or qigong or tai chi or some type of mindful movement that helps to release the stress from your body, can help build up the immune system and support the immune system as well. So the fourth tip and the fourth thing that you can do is to get good quality sleep. So a lot of people are, sleep deprived. They're not getting at least a minimum of 7 hours. So adults should get 7 to 8 hours of sleep per day in an ideal situation. But people are getting far less. Some people are getting far less than that on a consistent basis, just because, the stress is feeding into their inability to sleep. But sleep is so essential, because studies have shown that people who are sleep deprived, they are definitely more at risk of contracting viruses, coronavirus, any type of viruses, the flu virus, bacteria, and just putting themselves at risk for other disease states that could potentially happen. So, and one other thing in terms of the physiological nature of sleep, when you're sleeping, a lot of antibiotics are being created. There's actually a protein called cytokine that's actually created, and cytokine helps you to sleep better. And what happens too is that when you are stressed, or when you have a viral infection, or when you have when you're sick, your body actually needs more cytokines to actually help you to come back into a balanced state. And if you're not sleeping, you're definitely not creating the amount of cytokines that's needed to help you to heal. So your healing process will be slower and will probably take much longer if you're not getting adequate amounts of sleep. So, that's something that we can do to help to support our bodies. And in terms of sleep, some people, have talked to me, some of my clients in particular, just saying that it's very difficult for them to get to sleep. And so I also suggest that deep abdominal breathing helps with that. Taking a nice warm bath in Epsom salt can help with that. Here's where your essential oils come back into play. Things like lavender, your Roman chamomile, your German chamomile, your sweet marjoram oil. These are essential oils. You can put them in a diffuser if you have one and diffuse it in your room. But if you don't, you can simply put a drop on a cotton ball, put it in your pillowcase, and in that way you can smell the aroma, and that just helps to calm the nervous system and help you to fall asleep. And in the case where that doesn't happen, sometimes there are particular herbs and other supplements that you can take to help to calm you down and to get better sleep. And I'll share more about that specifically in an upcoming video. So the final tip that I want to give you in terms of helping to build up the immune system to fight off coronavirus or any other type of virus is exercise. And it's very important to our overall health that we exercise a minimum of 150 minutes per week, and that's minimum. So, and it should be a combination of different type of exercises. You should have your cardio exercise, your cardiovascular exercises where you're walking or you're on a treadmill or you have an elliptical that you're on. And then you have your strength training exercises where you can do with weights or you can do it with your own body resistance. As well as this is where you can put in the Qigong, the Tai Chi, and the yoga, because it's very important to get in exercises to keep you flexible as well. So it has been shown too, studies have also been shown that in terms of exercise, it can increase your immunity. And it also is one of those things that, when you exercise, you sweat. A lot of people do, not everybody. But it can also help to flush out the toxins out of your body during that process as well. So, of course, if your body's in a compromised state, you want to take it easy and really listen to your body and exercise accordingly. So, don't want to overdo it, but you don't want to not do enough to where you're not supporting proper immune function. So, again, just to sum it up, the 5 tips include good nutrition and hydration. You want to focus. The second tip would be to have quality herbs, supplements, and essential oils that you can use to support your immune system. The third one is that you want to make sure that you actually reduce your stress levels as much as possible. The fourth is you want to get good quality sleep. And the fifth is that you're going to get exercise. And as I mentioned, I am a holistic nutritionist and I am not a medical doctor. So this is not any type of information that I'm giving you is not for diagnosis purposes, but it's about helping to educate you